Hey everybody, welcome to Polygon's overview segment, and we're taking a little field trip today to, well, you probably recognize this as Minecraft. Joining me today is a young man named Evan. Hello, Evan.
Hello.
And I've got his friend John. Hi, John.
Hello.
And well, this is the Legend of Zelda. If you were actually inside that Nintendo Classic as a three-dimensional being on a three-dimensional plane, not just playing it from above. Who the heck are you people?
We're from New Jersey, and one day we decided to build Zelda in Minecraft, and and that was in September, and we're still going. And we gave ourselves like 3 years, so I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Are you guys students? Are you in school somewhere, or you got jobs?
No, we both work full time. I'm in design, and John is a programmer.
Okay.
So we use those abilities to try to apply to this project, and I am in charge of all the design, and John's in charge of all the programming. So
awesome, dude. Well, what really attracted me to your guys' project is again this long-term plan that you guys have, but also you're not just making, a reskin of Zelda inside the Minecraft world. You're actually recreating the game itself in Minecraft?
Yes.
Explain that to me a little bit.
So we wanted to bring the game to life. It was John's idea, so I mean he could speak to where his inspiration came from as far as programming the game to be functional. But I was immediately enthralled with the idea of bringing it to life because it's 8 bits. And, there's a lot left to the imagination. So, I kind of wanted to pull that out of it. And part of the fun of it is trying to bring it to life in a way that, it's just something that we came up with. And what's hidden behind this wall that's really just an orange wall, or what's what's under this overhang or something. We just kind of wanted to have some fun with it. And
now I've jumped up into the air. We're in creative mode, obviously. I've got max block draw distance. I think I'm looking out something like 64 blocks. This is massive.
So yeah, that was one of our first design choices, was how big to make it. Because we could have gone with the 1 Zelda block to 1 Minecraft block ratio, but we ended up deciding real quickly that would probably be too small. So we wanted to try and come up with a balance that would feel kind of enthralling, not too big, not too small. And so we ended up going with 3 Minecraft blocks to 1 Zelda block. Ended up working out just right.
Well, that's an odd number, though, so that doesn't make sense to me.
Actually, it makes a lot of sense for design, because it actually ended up being really helpful for me, because then I can center a lot of things in designs and stuff. It weirdly worked out really well, better than I could have expected.
Yeah.
So this is the entrance to the lab, which we can bring you to in a minute, I guess.
Okay.
But as far as the game goes, this is the first screen of the game where you start and you go down this cave right here, and you'll be encountered by an old man, and he will give you a sword, and he will tell you something that Zelda players have been being told for years and years.
Oh, come on, we got to go see this guy, can't we? Is he functioning?
Sure, absolutely.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God, we're here.
There's a few too many swords since there's 3 of us. There's 3 swords.
We got 3 swords, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I took them all. Sorry.
Can I fly? I can fly while I'm down here too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, now I'm behind this guy, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not supposed to fly when you actually play it. Once this is being made for adventure mode, so you won't have that ability. But yeah, you can check out all my detailing at up close when you do that.
Oh man, that's just amazing. Now, is this being built with the standard Minecraft skin in mind, or are you going to skin this differently when it's all done, or?
No, and so that was one of the things I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought. We try to use all the default blocks that you're given, and all the default commands and everything. As far as constructing it, John was able to write some proprietary plugins and stuff.
Okay.
That just makes it easier to build, but otherwise we wanted the end result to be completely vanilla, completely default, no resource packs, no skins, no anything.
Just great. So how did you build all of this? Did you come in here and do it all block by block, or use a piece of software? Or?
John is good at math. That's the short answer.
It's a little bit of both. So all of the fine detailing has been done by Evan,
okay.
But certain repetitive aspects that, if you go to the forest, for instance, and see a lot of the tree patterns look very similar, that was all done using copy and pasting commands that exist within the game. Also, parts of it were made with externalized programs that I had made, which, for instance, the mountain generation, which is kind of half done over here in the distance, still being worked on, but certainly not all of these blocks here were placed block by block.
Yeah.
If you were to go into the Nintendo game itself and look at the map, what we're looking at here, this is pretty much what the map looks like in the Zelda world. So it's not like you've had to kind of, like a Lynx style golf course, kind of fold everything together, right? This is pretty much as it's laid out in the Nintendo game. Yeah.
So beyond using just default blocks, our other big rule was when viewed from above, it is exactly the 2D map that you see when you have the overhead view in the game itself.
Wow.
And and then what's left to the imagination is when you go down at ground level and you see, like that's what was really there if you got to see it up close. But from bird's eye, it should match exactly.
Just remarkable, fellas. All right, well, let's hit some highlights here. What are some spots on this map that you're really proud of as far as just building the world itself?
Evan, that's all you.
Well, I mean, I just finished the waterfall over here. So from above, this is the waterfall from the game, and I'm using all orange blocks and colors in order to disguise it so it just looks like one waterfall. But when you come down to ground level, you see that, it's got water pouring out on the sides, there's trees, there's a grotto here that's under this cliff hang.
All these things that you would have only been able to see in the game if only you had been in first person.
Yeah, so that's the idea.
Look at that.
Over in the desert here behind you, there's this weird rock that is kind of in the center of the desert. And I've seen like artist interpretations of this rock, and it's always something kind of cool and different. So I decided to do something myself. It's like this skull monument thing. Who knows? I mean, make up your own backstory or whatever. But just wanted to bring it to life and have something for people to explore wherever they go. The show is some of these dungeon entrances. If you look. Like if you brought up an image of them from the game, you would see that I've more or less matched it pretty close, I guess. I don't know, in my opinion.
Tremendous.
So what happens, John, if he goes down in here? Is he gonna work?
Yeah, of course.
So why don't you try entering?
All right. Level 2, the moon. Look at this. So this has warped me kind of somewhere else within the world as you've created it.
This is an under construction dungeon, as all the dungeons are at the moment. But
wow.
Yeah. We got all of them laid out, so all the rooms are all set up and ready to go, and we just have to populate it with all the stuff that you encounter in the game.
Yeah, they'll ultimately have ceilings, but for now it's kind of helpful if they don't.
So this gate here is not in the game at all.
Oh, wow.
What it was just my solution to our problem of wanting it to be perfect from above. So basically, if you go up, you'll see that there's at a certain point it just becomes a gray line against the white line.
Yeah. So
in the game, it's like it's two screens. So it pans to the next screen, and you go from one area to the next area. So there's no weird transition. But in the 3D world, there's just a weird gray line on the floor.
Huh.
So in order to get rid of that, I just thought I'd pull the line up, and then put a gate under it, so now it's a little more seamless. But these are the kind of things that we're doing in order to kind of play with that, you know, like what's really here concept, which is, it's kind of fun, and anybody could have their own interpretation of what's really there, but you know, this is mine. So like in this case, it's gray, like this is all in the same plane right here, this level and this level. But you know, I thought, why don't we lower the graveyard and put the Temple of Time or some kind of Temple of Time invoking church thing, and create this whole explorable thing that's not actually in the game.
Wow. So this does not exist in the game at all.
No, and then to bring it even further, I blew out the wall here, and you see there's a scene from the Nether, which is a Minecraft thing.
Oh, what?
Through there. So it's just the idea that it's kind of like 50% Minecraft, 50% Zelda. You figured, let's pull some Minecraft things in here. Oh yeah, there's just barrier blocks.
Whoop, I'm pushing through. This is so wild. So this is just essentially a window.
Yeah, it's got to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean ride, where you see a lot of thematic things happen, and they're just kind of like something you can see from the outside, but you can't really explore necessarily all of it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you.
Pop right through here. Find my way back in.
Help you
Just
out.
break a bunch, yeah.
All right, sorry, I'm breaking.
Yeah, no
No, that's right. It's easy enough to.
All right, there we go. Oh, so interesting. And then you've got your little Zelda
Yeah, it's got the
Triforce
Triforce
elements here.
Yeah. This was all just out of the top of my head, you know. No blueprint. I just kind of like went with it.
So are you going to make this all available for folks to download and mess around with while you're building it, or are you going to hold it back for a little while?
No, yeah. As soon as we feel it's done, I mean, there's obviously going to be, like with any game, a testing phase.
How many hours would you say that you've spent on all of this since September?
On average, twice a week, a night, you know, 2 nights a week, maybe, on average. That's what we try to do.
Yeah, just for a few hours a night, you know. So if you come over here to the original beacon, this is how you can teleport to our lab.
You got to look down
All right.
when you stand on it. And it only hurts a little bit.
Whoa, hey. Are all my parts here? Yeah, I think I've got all my parts. Whoa, what is this? What is going on?
So this is the lab, and this is the creation that is very far away from all the other components of the game. So it's just a big room, basically. You're actually several rooms. When you're in the map or you're in the dungeon, this lab is always here. It always exists. It never goes away.
Okay.
So that's why we had to build this here. So that what you're looking at right now is all the different machinery that always has to exist, that is always running, that is doing different things like monitoring where you are and making decisions to spawn enemies or make swords or old men in caves and things of that nature.
So these are command blocks here. John can tell you a little about them, but it's...
Well, hang on. I want to ask a couple of questions here before we get too nitty-gritty. This is the portal that we came in, down from the overworld into the lab. Mm-hmm. What is this board-looking thing that we're seeing up here with all the transparent glass blocks? What is this for?
So this is the map. And so the first section here, this first third of the grid, represents the overworld of Hyrule. And then the second 2/3 here actually represent all the different dungeons, and they kind of just happen to fit together nicely. That was actually a decision of the original makers of the game of Zelda back in the 80s. It was a good space-saving technique for them.
So we're kind of looking at the coding guts of the original Zelda game, but writ large in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, exactly.
Very interesting.
And if you watch, I'll go into Hyrule, which is...
Oh, yeah, do that.
And you can watch me move around.
All right.
So you can see him down here.
There he is. Is that sand that shows up?
It's just a white quartz block.
Look at that. So it's actually reading his movements through the game world. That's remarkable. All right, so now what? This looks over here like another map to me. What is this?
So this is actually one of the things that exists in Minecraft is an actual item called a map, where you can use this item to you just use it and it creates a map of the terrain that you're in. So I got a bunch of Minecraft maps and just flew over our terrain and created this map representation in Minecraft. It doesn't have the same fun tracking abilities. It's just a visual representation.
Well, you know, what it does is it shows the proof that that we were perfectly to the pixel to the original game.
All right, now you mentioned the machinery, and I'm kind of skipping over the machinery right now. We'll come back to the machinery, but this, all of this stuff here, this looks like one of the research libraries at my university. Just row upon row of bookshelf. What is all this stuff over here?
So if you come around back a little bit, if you actually look at the back of each of these pillars, you'll see some command blocks embedded into them.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay.
So what this actually is a representation of that same map where each pillar corresponds to a screen, and this is actually going to be the set of command blocks that runs on that particular screen.
Okay, so this is very much like a library. This is where you're going to organize everything that drives one of those little dungeons.
Yeah, ultimately this is all part of the machine that we were just showing you, and it's how it communicates. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it works. John knows how it works.
Well, let's look at this machine then.
So if you come over here to the beam, and if you look straight up, it'll take you up to the second floor.
There's 16 floors, by the way.
So what you actually see if you fly above it is that there's 3 long stretches of glass. One of them is green, one of them is blue, and one of them is red. And in each one of these color-coded sections is just the same map, Hyrule and dungeons and all, repeated all over again. And each one of these is representing a different task. So what the color coding stands for in this case is just the green is all the blocks that are going to run, all the command blocks that are going to run when you first enter a screen. The blue ones are blocks that are constantly firing all the time, just over and over and over again on clock cycles. And the red ones are blocks that fire when you leave the screen, so that we have essentially maximum flexibility to take care of spawning enemies and then, say, making the enemies do their actions and then cleaning up the enemies when you leave. So if you look down on the blue screen, you can actually see some redstone blocks being fired as Evan moves around the map. So this is another representation of him moving around.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Hyrule.
So how is it different to program in a three-dimensional space using physical blocks inside Minecraft versus programming in the real world?
It has its similarities and differences. I found that regular programming, if that's what we're going to call it, is, in my opinion, a little bit easy to control, because in this realm you have all these blocks that can all kind of be firing simultaneously, whereas normally when you're coding you don't have to think too much about simultaneity, or at least not to the degree that it is in here. The language that you get to work with in Minecraft is, in my opinion, a little bit low level. You have these very basic commands that do these very simple things, whereas in most modern programming languages you have these extensive libraries with a bunch of complex functionality, so that certain things that would seem difficult are actually already pretty much done for you. Not the case here.
Programming very close to the metal, as it were.
Exactly.
All right, so there's 16 floors of this shenanigans. What's on the other floors?
Well, there's one other floor that has some stuff in it. If you go up to the 3rd floor. John.
So this is just an experimentation floor. Hold on a second.
Yeah, eventually, we're going to have a lot of machines doing a lot of things. A lot of them are going to be creating enemies.
So here's an example of an enemy that doesn't exist in Minecraft.
Okay. What is that?
That is going to be our snake, or at least it's our first attempt at making a snake enemy in Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft players might recognize it as a creeper face. And a slime block body to it.
Okay.
And that's just, the kind of magic that you got to do to create Zelda. Oh, he went away.
Oh no, he died.
Well, wait a minute. I'm confused. So that's a hack of some kind that you guys have built?
He's just using command blocks and the what's at his disposal to to manipulate the blocks within the game itself.
Really? That thing is terrifying.
Yeah, you just got to get very creative with the limitations that you have.
But you're making Minecraft do this. This isn't some kind of plug-in where you.
Nope. This is using all of the functionality that Minecraft has to offer and just kind of pushing it to its limits.
That's wild.
If we're lucky parents, someday this little guy will be attacking you on the map.
And so the equipment, the programming blocks and stone, and get out of here. Things that are in this room right here, everything that we're looking at on the floor is only building and driving that one creature.
Yeah, well, so right now the platform you're standing on and the platform I'm standing on are the two in particular that are driving that guy there.
But then you've got to create those iconic weapons as well, right? We've got the hook shot, the boomerang, stuff that doesn't naturally occur in the Minecraft universe. Similar kind of room, similar kind of stuff?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
So
Wow.
So that's
we're gonna start like a website so you can check progress updates, and we're excited that people are pumped about it. So
yeah, we'd be happy to give you a part 2 once we have a lot more of the functionality
For sure.
together for you.
John, Evan, I really appreciate the time tonight, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the progress of this. Thanks for letting me take a quick tour.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much for interviewing us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us to do it.
No big deal.